Welcome everyone to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're here because today we're diving into a genuinely fascinating vehicle that's essentially trying to be two completely different things at once. We're going to satisfy our curiosity by unpacking the strategic, mechanical, and stylistic decisions behind the DS4 E-Tense. It's an EV that's trying to bridge this massive gap between pure artistic luxury and some pretty hard technical constraints. So get comfortable and let's decode this premium compact car.
To kick things off, just think about this. How exactly do you merge French haute couture with German industrial muscle? Well, that is the core mystery we're solving today with the DS4. In a market completely flooded with EVs that honestly all kind of look and feel the same, DS, which is the luxury arm of the massive Stellantis group, is attempting to blend two entirely different automotive cultures into one cohesive package.
Here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. First up, a tale of two countries. Then, powertrain and performance, followed by the Stellantis Paradox. We'll wrap up with the competitive landscape, and finally, the final verdict. Let's get right to it. Starting off with Section 1, a tale of two countries.
This really brilliantly illustrates its dual identity. Look at it. The DS4 E-Tense is undeniably French in its sculptural design. It totally embodies that Parisian aesthetic philosophy. But get this, it's actually built in the Stellantis plant in Rüsselsheim, Germany, which historically is an Opel stronghold, and that is absolutely no accident. It's a highly calculated strategic maneuver. By manufacturing the car in Germany, DS is actively reassuring buyers, people who might normally just default to an Audi A3 or a BMW 1 Series, that they're getting strict, rigorous Teutonic assembly standards, while still getting to enjoy all that unique flair of French design. And to target those traditional German luxury buyers, DS isn't trying to beat them by just copying their tech. No, they're doing it with artisanal boutique cabin luxury. We're talking about bespoke elements you usually only see in ultra-luxury vehicles. Things like their signature watch strap leather upholstery, that intricate impunture stitching, and, this is super cool, interior details explicitly inspired by horlogerie, which is the art of high watchmaking. It's literally designed to feel like a high-end fashion statement the absolute second you sit inside.
Moving right along to Section 2, Powertrain and Performance.
So, the crucial point here is that under the hood, the DS4 relies on the latest technical evolution from Stellantis for its battery-powered C-segment cars. It utilizes a powertrain developed by M3 Émotors, which is a joint venture between Stellantis and Nidec. It delivers a really solid 213 horsepower and 343 newton-meters of torque, getting it from 0 to 100 in a respectable 7.1 seconds. It's powered by a 58.3 kilowatt-hour net battery using NMC chemistry across 18 modules, which promises up to 450 kilometers of range. Now, this motor is built in France, and it's heavily optimized for smooth, highly efficient premium urban and extra-urban driving, rather than, raw, neck-snapping track speed.
But here is where we hit a pretty significant technical bottleneck. 100. That's 100 kilowatts. And unfortunately, it's the absolute maximum direct current charging speed for the DS4 E-Tense.
So why does that number actually matter? Well, because the DS4 relies on a multi-energy platform, which is essentially an evolution of the EMP2 architecture rather than a native, dedicated EV platform. Because of this setup, that 100 kilowatt limit means a 20% to 80% charge is going to take about 31 minutes. Now compare that to modern native EV rivals that can easily hit 135 to 170 kilowatts and get you back on the road much faster. This constraint severely hampers the DS4's potential as a long-distance grand tour. Put simply, you're just going to be spending a lot more dwell time at charging stations.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, the Stellantis Paradox.
I absolutely love this concept. To truly understand the DS4, you've got to understand how it navigates what market analysts call the Stellantis Paradox. See, Stellantis is a massive umbrella company, and the DS4 shares its basic mechanical foundations and powertrain with much cheaper generalist siblings, like the Peugeot E308 or the Opel Astra Electric. So the paradox is this. How on earth do you share parts with a mainstream hatchback but successfully convince buyers to pay a premium luxury price point for that DS badge? You have to create what's called premium distance.
And how exactly do they justify that premium distance? By offering some highly exclusive upgrades that those generalist cars simply do not have. Take the DS Active Scan Suspension, for instance. This is a crazy predictive system that uses a camera to read the imperfections in the road ahead, and then it electronically adjusts the damping in real time before you even hit the bump. Combine that with thick laminated glass and top-tier acoustic insulation materials, and the DS4 offers a level of absolute cabin silence and ride comfort that completely eclipses its cheaper corporate cousins.
Let's see how this plays out in Section 4, the competitive landscape.
Let's talk real numbers for a second. 43,550 euros. That's roughly the starting price in Italy for the entry-level Palace trim. But hey, if you want the full boutique experience, the fully loaded A12 version will push you well over the 48,000 euro mark. At this price bracket, it really has to fiercely defend its luxury positioning against some heavy hitters.
One of its absolute biggest threats is the Renault Megane E-Tech. And the Renault is a massive challenge because it's built on a native electric platform, the CMF EV, meaning it gets that faster 130 kilowatt charging and a much more agile feel on the road. Plus, it rocks a best-in-class Google Android automotive infotainment system. This really forces the DS4 to win purely on opulence. While Renault offers digital agility and tech responsiveness, the DS4 counters with a sumptuous, incredibly luxurious interior that feels far more traditional and handcrafted.
And when we compare it to another major rival, the Volkswagen ID.3, it's a classic battle of priorities. The VW utilizes its native MEB platform to maximize a long wheelbase, which gives you fantastic interior space and really pragmatic efficiency. But the trade-off there is that the VW's interior materials can feel, well, a bit Spartan. The DS4 goes the exact opposite route. It sacrifices a bit of raw interior volume to give you a true boutique, aesthetically rich atmosphere. Basically, it trades physical space for perceived quality.
All right, that brings us to Section 5, the final verdict.
Depending on what you personally value behind the wheel, the European electric vehicle market has essentially fractured into three very distinct buyer profiles in this segment. Let's take a look and see which one you might be.
First, if you're the aesthetic traditionalist, you're buying the DS4. You view your car not just as a giant mobile smartphone, but as a genuine fashion statement and a sanctuary of comfort. You value French design, the gorgeous watch-strap leather, and total cabin silence above pretty much everything else. For you, waiting an extra 10 minutes at a charging station because of that 100-kilowatt limit, it's an entirely acceptable trade-off for a vastly superior tactile and visual experience every single time you sit in the driver's seat.
Conversely, if you prioritize seamless digital integration, you're what we'd call the digital native. For you, the car's screen needs to be as fast and intuitive as your iPad, and you definitely want that slightly faster charging on road trips. If that sounds like you, the Renault Megane E-Tech, with its native EV agility and incredible Google ecosystem, is for sure your clear winner.
Finally, we have the pragmatic efficientist. This buyer looks at a car purely as a tool for moving people and things efficiently. If that's you, you're always going to choose the VW ID.3, happily trading away luxury materials and haute couture stitching for maximum cabin space, functional simplicity, and the concrete platform efficiency of that MEB architecture.
This leaves us at a pretty fascinating crossroads in the automotive world, doesn't it? So I'm going to leave you with this provocative question to ponder. In the end, is the true future of the electric vehicle defined by raw technical specifications and digital integration, or by artisanal luxury and acoustic serenity? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Remember, learning something new every day is our ultimate goal, and I really hope we've satisfied your curiosity about the intriguing DS4 E-Tense. Take care, and I will see you next time.